I'm not a doctor, but when you've lived as long as I have, and when you've watched enough people you love slowly fade away, you start noticing things. Not just the obvious things, the quiet ones. The kinds of changes that whisper instead of scream. This is not a video to scare you. It's not meant to make you worry every time you feel tired or skip a meal. This is a message I wish someone had given me when I watched my father slowly slip away in front of my eyes. A message I wish I had listened to when my neighbor, a man I'd played cards with for 30 years, suddenly stopped coming to the park. It's about recognizing the small warnings, the ones most people ignore. Because the truth is, when someone's time is drawing close, whether they're 70, 80, or even older, there are signs. And if you know what to look for, you might be able to do the one thing that matters most. Make their final year feel like they still matter. So here are the signs I've seen firsthand repeatedly. These are the patterns, the red flags, the changes that usually don't mean much alone, but together they speak. And let me be clear, these are signs that someone may be in their final year of life. Not definitely, but possibly. And ignoring them could mean missing your chance to say the words you'll never get to say again. Small blue diamond sign number 1, a sudden withdrawal from life. It starts slowly, quietly. A man who once went for morning walks suddenly prefers the couch. A woman who used to call her friends every Sunday stops answering her phone. They cancel plans, avoid visitors, claim they're just tired. It's not depression, not always. It's more like detachment. It's as if something inside them is pulling back, inch by inch, like they're rehearsing for goodbye. My Uncle Jack was like that. He used to be the loudest man at any family gathering. Played dominoes with the younger kids. Told jokes you'd heard 100 times, but laughed anyway. Then, one winter, he just stopped. He skipped Christmas dinner. Said he wasn't feeling well. The next week, he missed our Tuesday card game. A month later, he wasn't answering his phone at all. When we finally visited, he said, "I just like the quiet now." He died 4 months later. No pain. No major diagnosis. Just gone. So if someone starts fading from their routines, pulling away from their circles, you need to pay attention. It might not just be tiredness. It might be the beginning of their goodbye. Small blue diamond sign number 2, changes in appetite and weight. They say old people eat less. That's true. But when someone stops eating almost entirely or shows a sudden disinterest in food they used to love, that's different. My neighbor Helen loved peach cobbler. She'd bake it for the whole block. One day, she handed me a plate and said, "I don't really eat it anymore. Just the smell's enough now." I asked why. She shrugged. "Don't have the stomach for it." She lost 10 pounds in 2 months. She passed away 6 months later. Pancreatic cancer. Undiagnosed until too late. A sudden decline in appetite can be due to many things. Digestive changes, emotional withdrawal, even the body preparing for less energy usage. It doesn't always mean death is near. But if someone loses weight rapidly after 70 and shows disinterest in food without clear cause, it's time to ask questions. Sometimes food is life, and when the appetite fades, life may be too. Small blue diamond sign number 3, declining personal hygiene. You can learn a lot about someone's health by their bathroom mirror. My father, when he was nearing the end, stopped shaving. His clothes became mismatched. His socks didn't match. He stopped buttoning his shirts fully. At first, we thought he was just being stubborn. But then we realized he wasn't noticing. He simply didn't care anymore. There was a time he wouldn't leave the house without cologne. Now, he barely changed shirt from day to day. It wasn't dementia. Not yet. It was a loss of something deeper. The will to present himself to the world. He told me one day, "There's no one to impress, son." That broke me. When someone starts ignoring their appearance after 70, when it's not their norm, it might be because they've stopped imagining themselves in the future. And if they've stopped imagining tomorrow, it could mean they feel it's already behind them. Small blue diamond sign number 4, changes in sleep patterns. This one is tricky because everyone's sleep gets worse with age. But when someone starts sleeping all day or waking up confused at night, take note. My cousin Gary started napping in the late mornings, then again in the afternoons. Then he was barely awake at dinner. He'd be alert 1 minute and then gone the next. He once asked me what year it was. Not because of dementia, but because his internal rhythm was gone. He was drifting in and out like a radio losing signal. We found out later his liver was failing. The body shuts down gradually, and often, sleep is one of the first systems to change. Watch for new patterns. Waking up disoriented, sleeping at odd hours, struggling to stay alert even after rest. It's the body's quiet cry that something's changing, something deep. If you've seen any of the signs I shared in part 1, don't ignore the next 3, because these are the ones even doctors sometimes miss. The ones that feel small, harmless, even normal. But in my experience, and according to several studies I later found, these final 3 signs are often the last whispers the body gives us before it lets go. These aren't always painful. Some are even peaceful, but that's what makes them so dangerous. They don't scream. They don't rush. They just arrive. And if we're not paying attention, we may not realize how close the end is until it's already passed. Small blue diamond sign number 5. Everything feels like too much. This one is hard to describe, but if you've seen it, you know. A simple phone call becomes exhausting. A short walk to the mailbox? Too far. Making a sandwich? I'm not that hungry. They don't complain. They don't resist. They just shrink away from effort. My friend Carl was 82, still sharp, still walked around the block every morning. We'd joke about our aching knees. Then one day he said, "I'm tired of brushing my teeth every morning. I just don't see the point anymore." At first I laughed. Then I realized he wasn't joking. It's like life starts to feel heavy. Not in weight, in purpose. Even small tasks feel like hills. Hills not worth climbing. There was no diagnosis, no stroke, no fall, just a steady loss of interest in doing anything. He passed in his sleep 3 months later. We often think dying is dramatic, but sometimes it's quiet surrender. And when someone starts withdrawing from the little things, the tiny rituals that keep us human, they might be closer than you think. Small blue diamond sign number 6. Moments of clarity before the end. This one will haunt you. It happened with my Aunt May. She had been confused for weeks. Mild dementia, forgot names, got angry at the nurses, couldn't tell if it was day or night. Then one morning, she was crystal clear. She asked about her garden. Remember my name. Told a story from her childhood in perfect detail. She smiled, held my hand, said, "Everything's going to be okay now." She died the next night. At first, I thought it was a miracle. Then I read about it. It's called terminal lucidity, a strange, almost mystical phenomenon where people who have been unwell, mentally or physically, suddenly have a brief window of complete clarity. It can last hours, sometimes a day, but it's often followed closely by death. Doctors don't fully understand why. Some believe it's the brain releasing final surges of chemicals. Others say it's spiritual. I won't argue, but I'll say this. If someone you love suddenly comes back to you after a long decline, don't assume they're healing. Assume they need you, right then, as present and loving as you can be. It might be your last moment together. Don't miss it. Small blue diamond sign number 7. The goodbyes without words. This one is the hardest, because there's often nothing said aloud, but you'll feel it. The long hug that lingers. The sudden request to look through old photo albums. The soft smile during silence, like they're memorizing your face. Sometimes they'll ask questions like, "What happens to my books when I'm gone? Do you think people remember what we said at funerals?" Or they'll start giving things away, one by one. "You always liked this scarf, didn't you? Take it. I won't be needing it soon." My friend Evelyn gave her granddaughter a ring, one she had refused to part with for decades. No speech, no tears, just a gentle, "I think it's time this belonged to someone else now." She passed away a week later. The hardest part? We often tell them, "Don't talk like that. You'll be fine. You've got more time." But what they need isn't denial. It's permission. to let go, to be held, to be seen. When someone starts offering little goodbyes in strange places, take it as a sacred moment, not something to fear, something to honor, because those gestures might be their final way of saying, "Thank you for being in my life. I'm ready now." Brain, what you should do if you recognize these signs. You don't need to panic. You don't need to act like death is certain. But you do need to be more present, more available, more gentle. If you notice 2 or more of these signs in someone you love, visit them more often, even if just to sit. Ask more questions, even if the answers are slow. Don't wait to say what you've always wanted to say, because there's something far worse than death. Regret. Regret that you didn't show up. Didn't say "I love you." Didn't ask, "Are you scared?" Didn't hold their hand when they were trying to let go. Sometimes, all a person needs in their last year of life is to not feel alone in it. Let that be your gift. White heavy check mark, scientifically proven. And just so you know, these aren't just emotional reflections. Multiple studies in geriatric medicine, palliative care, and hospice work confirm these as recurring patterns before the end of life. Terminal withdrawal, rapide cognitive schiz, lucidity, behavioral preparation for death. You can look them up. You should, because the more you understand them, the better chance you have at helping someone find peace instead of fear. If you've made it this far, thank you. Not for me, but for the person you're thinking about while listening. They're lucky to have you.